Welcome to the Any Key Radio Show. I'm your host, Kenny Any Key Moore. This episode is the mentoring episode. We have a special guest that's going to join us in a few minutes. But before he does, we're going to get started with some music. We're going to start with the new single from Bishop Jason Nelson, In the Room.
I can hear the Lord saying I'm aware, and I've heard your prayer. No matter how you feel, know that I am still in control. Know that I am here, and whatever you need, it's in the room. I can hear the Lord saying, I'm aware, and I've heard your prayer. No matter how you feel, know that I am still in control. Know that I am here, and whatever you need, it's in the room. Whatever you need, whatever you need, whatever you need, it's in the room. Whatever you need, whatever you need, whatever you need, I dare you to just snatch something out of the atmosphere. Whatever you need from God, if you need finances, if you need restored relationship, if you need to be reconnected with God, whatever you need, it's in the room. Without struggle, without toil, without turmoil.
That was Bishop Jason Nelson in the room. It's always good to know that if you can just be in the presence of God, you can get whatever you need. Now it's time to welcome my guest. He's the former editor of the Sporting News and currently the director of corporate initiatives for American City Business Journals. He's been a sports editor for the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, as well as the Philadelphia Inquirer. He's an exceptional writer who I'm fortunate to have as a part of my extended family, as well as someone I hold in high regard as one of my mentors. Now joining us is Garry D. Howard. Gary, welcome to the Any Key Radio Show. Thanks for being on.
I like that introduction, Garry D. Howard. I like that. Thanks so much. Good to be on this show, Kenny.
I appreciate it, man. I'm trying to be professional on here, you know what I mean?
Well, you are.
Let's get started, man. Tell my listeners how you got your start in writing and working in newspapers.
I have to start with my mom, who helped me stay focused on the things that were going to be good in my career, and just my love for writing when I started very early on. When I was in elementary school in 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th grade, I really loved to write, and I excelled at it, and it was something that came easy for me. And by the time I finished junior high school in New York City and then ended up at a boarding school out in New Jersey, the Lawrenceville School, I really started to kind of see that my writing was pretty good. And I love to read. So I started reading books like Native Son, things that made you just start to think. And then I started thinking, hey, this is something that I could possibly do for my career. And next thing you know, when I was at college, it was something that I started to focus on.
So kind of talk about that, because I know you went to Lehigh University and you went there to play ball, but kind of when did you know that was going to be your path and that was going to be something that you wanted to do with the rest of your life?
Well, as far as journalism is concerned, when I went to Lehigh, I wasn't to play basketball. I played my senior year at Lawrenceville, but I also played hockey at Lawrenceville. But when I got to Lehigh, it was purely for academic reasons.
Okay, gotcha.
Schools that I had got into. Obviously, when you go to a school like Lawrenceville School, my prep school cost $65,000 a year. We put most of our kids go to Ivy League schools. It was that kind of a deal. So I was looking to get into the best academic institution that I could. My mom wanted me to go to Princeton, but I grew up at Lawrenceville, which was only 5 miles from Princeton. So I spent 4 years in that area, and I didn't want to spend another 4 years. So we kind of I wanted to go to Howard University because I was going to play basketball, and have Howard on the front and Howard on the back. But Lehigh was the school that actually was closer to what Lawrenceville was. For me, it was about a student population of about 5,000, beautiful, majestic mountains in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, in the Lehigh Valley. And when I got to the school, I found out they got a pretty good Division I program in sports, and they had a pretty good Division I basketball team in the East Coast Conference. And I did end up walking on and making the varsity, but that's another story. When I got to when I got to Lehigh, Kenny, it was mainly, I started out in business school that first year. I didn't do very well that first year. This is something your listeners need to know. And I was an excellent student. I had won a scholarship to go to boarding school. But when I got to Lehigh, I still had not had a girlfriend yet, and I got a girlfriend that freshman year. And I had went to one boys' school for 4 years, so I spent most of my time with a really good friend of mine named Lynette. We spent all of our time together, and I kind of neglected my studies that first semester. But then again, when I was looking at the business, taking accounting 101 and things like that, it didn't vibe with me. I didn't really get a sense that that's what I wanted to do. And I took a one-credit course with the journalism program where you actually wrote for the school paper, and that changed my mind. Once I got a byline in the newspaper, and wow, this is cool. I like journalism. Can I major in journalism? And then I transferred to the School of Arts and majored in journalism. And after that, I just started really getting better at the craft. Ended up landing a great internship through Dow Jones News Fund, where I actually worked at the Wall Street Journal. Dow Jones News Services was the time, but they actually did the copy editing for the Wall Street Journal and other things. And I ended up with a great internship there. And after that, when I graduated, I had a Bachelor of Arts in journalism from Lehigh University, and I just worked my butt up the thing. But finding what you like in college was a godsend for me, Kenny.
I'm sure. And then, once you realize earlier that you had the gift for writing, and then I'm sure working at the newspaper just confirmed everything that you thought in terms of making writing a career. Am I correct?
Yeah, it is in that sense, but you also find that that's the hardest thing to do in the world, right? To actually go out, watch an event, turn it around, and write a story that you have to file to the newspaper in time for it to be published the next day. Deadline oriented, you're writing on deadline, which means you have to turn it around very fast. So it's a discipline. It's a great discipline to be in. It's not for everybody. It's very difficult. I've always told many people, I love to write, but writing in journalism is a little bit different. I think as journalists, we're here to expose the truth, to shed light on things that need to be told. And you have to come into this profession with that kind of attitude. But having a gift of writing definitely helps. But it's also the research you have to do, the things that you have to look up to know that you're writing the correct things. And I find many people don't want to be fundamentally sound in it, not just being able to see an introductory prepositional phrase or whether you have to write comma or whether this is capitalized or not. I'm not talking about those grammatical things, but I'm talking about having a sense for what is right and what is truthful. And I always had that about me. And it worked very well for me. As I look back on it, Kenny, it really worked well for me.
So let's kind of fast forward the story a little bit. So you transitioned from writing to editing and being an editor. And one of your stops was at the Philadelphia Inquirer, and you had a young man by the name of Stephen A. Smith who was on your staff there. Kind of talk about the early Stephen A. and your interaction with him and just how you were part of his process of becoming who he is today.
Well, the whole transition to being an editor was this. I realized who had the power in the sports department. The sports editor hired all the writers. He selected the editors. He told you what you were going to cover. When you filed that story, he or she was the person that told you whether the story was good enough to be published. So I really felt like the power in the newsroom lied in the sports editor's job, and that's something that I wanted to do. So I made a transition to copy desk from writing and worked my way up to becoming an assistant sports editor at the Philadelphia Inquirer. After I covered the Olympics in Lillehammer, Norway, I got promoted to deputy sports editor. I think right before then, which is the number 2 person in the department. Well, on one night, I can remember we needed someone to cover a basketball game up at Hofstra, and it was all the way up on Long Island, up in New York, and our writer could not get up on the turnpike because it was a snowstorm and no one could travel.
Okay.
So my friend at the New York Daily News and told him, hey, I need one of your writers in New York. I need to get out to Hartford and cover this game with Drexel, because Drexel was one of the schools in the Philadelphia area called the Big Five, St. Joe's, Temple, schools like that. The Villanova were a part of that pen. And I did not want to not have a coverage of a game from Drexel. So I called my friend Leon Carter and I asked him to give me somebody. His college writer wasn't available. So I said, give me anybody. So he ended up putting someone on the phone with me. I talked to the young man, told him where the game was, what I needed written, And later on, after the game that evening, he filed this wonderful game story. It was written from Dresser's standpoint. It was really very good. And I got on the phone with the young man, and I said, can you do this every day? And that's when Stephen A. Smith said I could do it every damn day. Wow, what confidence. I'm from Queens, you know what I mean?
Right.
Going on, and sounded just like the New Yorker that I had grew up with. I love the confidence that he had in his voice, but more importantly, I love what I saw. So I asked him after he filed the story, because we paid him, I paid him extra, maybe $150 or $200 to write the story for us. But I told him, what are you doing covering high schools? You should be covering something better. And he says, well, he started to give me a little bit of his backstory. And I said, well, send me everything that you've written. And he sent me, mailed me all of the stories that he had written. And I really saw a talent. I said, oh my gosh, he's really good at this. I need to have him here in Philadelphia. And I started recruiting him to come to the Philadelphia Inquirer. But at that same time, remember I told you I was the deputy sports editor. Marty Kaiser from the Milwaukee Journal called me and told me that he wanted to hire me as the sports editor, which is the number one spot. I had my own city. I'd be the boss. And I could not.
That's big time.
But accepted the job at the Milwaukee Journal as a sports editor. At that time, I was the only black sports editor in the country at a major metropolitan newspaper. So I knew it was important from a history standpoint and breaking ceilings. It was important that I leave Philadelphia, even though it was a much better shop at the time.
Trailblazer.
So at the time, Stephen A. was caught in the middle of this. He was like, I'm coming to Milwaukee with you. And I was like, no, we got a lot of work to do out there. Why don't you go to Philadelphia and knock it out the box? And he went to Philadelphia and he started covering John Chaney in Temple, and he worked his way up to covering, the Sixers and then the Eagles, and then becoming a columnist. And today, he's one of the best sports journalists in the country, bar none. But I remember him starting covering high schools, making $30-some thousand a year, but he was really talented. And mentoring comes from that. When I took the job in Milwaukee, Stephen A., I call him Stevie because he's so talented. I nicknamed him Stevie Wonder. So I call him Stevie. I'm probably the only person that calls him Stevie. Don't call him back because he probably doesn't like it, but he lets me get away with it because I've coached him for so long. But when I went to Milwaukee, Kenny, the good thing about every story that he would write, he would show it to me before he handed it in. He wanted to, he really wanted to.
He valued your opinion.
He was thirsty for opinion and feedback. Criticism, and he really wanted to do it great. It reminded me of just watching Kobe Bryant's documentary about who the kind of person he is, that drive, that determination to do things great, and he really had that. He didn't drink, he didn't smoke, he was dedicated to the craft, and that's what I was as far as coming up the ranks and becoming empowered, because as a sports editor, I could hire who I wanted to hire. So invariably, people of color got a better chance with me simply because I knew who they were. Oftentimes, we have sports editors had a tendency to hire people who look like them. I'm trying to hire the best. If you look like me, that's just great. But if you don't look like me, I'm going to go find out, because it's got to be somebody that looks like me and as good as me. So from my standpoint, in a mentorship with Stephen A. and I, it's been a long, strong road for him, and he's doing extremely well. I just saw him this last weekend. He was up here for All-Star Weekend. We got a chance to spend some time together. But
I missed that trip.
It's about listening to your mentors and taking their advice and internalizing and making it a part of you. My job is to instill these things in you. It's your job to internalize them and then go forth and knock it out the box.
Absolutely.
Right? That's what it is. That's what I think this is all about.
So, you said an interesting thing about being a mentor and how, important it was to you. So kind of talk about what you're doing today. Two-part question. Let me ask it this way. You transitioned from Milwaukee Journal Sentinel to being the editor for the Sport News, and that was another historic milestone for you. And
yes, it was. It was
so,
fantastic.
kind of talk about that, and then talk about what you're doing right now in terms of mentoring.
Well, when I look at it from a standpoint of leaving newspapers, I had done about everything that I could possibly do in newspapers. I felt I had been in a long time. I covered dozens of Super Bowls and NBA Finals and Major League and World Series. I covered 2 Olympics myself in Lillehammer, Norway, and Sydney, Australia. It wasn't very much I could do. Sporting news, on the other hand, was a bigger challenge. To be editor-in-chief of sporting news, obviously the first African-American to be editor-in-chief of sporting news, but it wasn't just that. It was an opportunity to work with a magazine, to work with a new website, to work with a new app that we were building. We had 4 or 5 different ways to deliver news, and that's what it was going to be and what it is today. All right, we have the information. People are going to want to get the information the way they want it. Invariably, that's with their smartphone now. That's with their laptops. That's with their, with the different devices that are iPads that are out there.
Yeah, digital world.
But it was changing to
absolutely.
a technological standpoint, and sporting news is on the cusp of that. And I thought it would be an excellent opportunity for me, considering the experience I had as far as what kind of news to deliver, to combine with a program that was actually going to disseminate that news on every different level and platform. And that was an excellent and extremely challenging job. And at the same time, I loved it. But when we sold Sporting News, because American City Business Journals owned Sporting News, and we sold it in 3 years, that's when I transitioned over to American City Business Journals. After about a year, I believe it was close to a year after it was sold, I came over with American City Business Journal and corporate. And one of my main jobs with them is to work with our national internship program. In order to build a great internship program, I went back, as I mentioned earlier to you. I won a Dow Jones News Fund internship when I was an undergraduate at Lehigh. Well, I went to the people who are running Dow Jones today, and I said, how can I make an alliance with you guys and American City Business Journal so I can get 10 of the best interns to put across our 43 markets in the United States? And they said, well, this is what you got to do, XXXX. Linda Shockley, who is the managing director of Dow Jones News Fund and a longtime friend and colleague from the National Association of Black Journalists. We had a great conversation. She showed me the outline of what I could do, and all I do is pretty much write them a check and work on the details. And now we have one of the best internship programs of any company, simply because we're looking to get the very best, and we're looking to put our time and our money into them and their development. One of the best things about our internship program is that there's a 1-week residency, which means that every intern, no matter what city you're from, will be flown to New York City. We will spend a week in New York at NYU, where we will have classes from 9 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock, and these are classes being led by professionals from the Associated Press, from the American City Business Journals, all these different places, so that they can come here and try to show them what they're going to expect when they go to their internships. We take them on different tours of the city. We spend a day at CBS. We spend a day at the Stock Exchange. We go visit the Freedom Tower. We have we're on American City Business Journals is owned by Condé Nast, which has 2 floors in the Freedom Tower. So we spend a day up there taking classes, and it's an overwhelming experience for them. We get them home at night. We get them assignments. We basically grind them into dust, and then when they fly back home after a week and they go to their internship, they walk in there and they are prepared. They're prepared to be excellent at what they do, and I think that's the spirit of a true internship program, is to prepare the student and then give them every opportunity to be successful.
Absolutely. I think you give them the tools that they need, and then they can know whether or not, if that's for them or not, at the end of that whole process. So I love it. So here's my last question, and I thank you for giving me some time. What's your advice? What advice would you give to anyone who's looking to be a mentor or looking to start the process of becoming a mentor?
Oh, just do it. There's so many different ways. You can go to your local high school. You can go to your local colleges. You can find out what programs that you can bring in through your own personal job. I remember Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, a very proud member of that.
I knew you was going to throw that in.
There are a lot of great service organizations out there that you can join and you can be a part of. The YMCA, the Boys and Girls Clubs, have great mentoring programs that you can volunteer your time. And I think that's something that you got to have a spirit for. Your uncle, Rob Strickland, who spent 17 years in the league, I remember talking to Rob when he was in 8th, 9th, 10th grade, talking about what the future was going to do, offering him advice. And during his 17 years in the league, I was a working sports journalist, so I had a credential. I could walk right into the locker room. I was able to give him advice one-on-one throughout his entire career, from his rookie year in New York City all the way through San Antonio, Portland, Washington, and the other 5 or 6 teams that gave him at least $1 million to play his last 4 or 5 years in the league. But having that relationship with him and being able to say, hey, I was a part of offering him the experience to make the right decisions, then it's beneficial for us as mentors. And it's very beneficial for the mentee, because then you look up, like I do on my television, and I see Stephen A. Smith on there hosting his own show, and he says something I don't like, and I text him, and then I see him laugh on screen because he just saw the text I sent, because he's going to look at it, and it's little things like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
I think all of us need to experience, Kenny, that giving back definitely is a great gift. I get a great deal from it, and I think it's important for others who look like me, and especially in our African-American community, to give back your experience and your time to those, so that we can make sure that they're on the right path to a career that's going to be successful.
Oh, man, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. It's just, at the end of the day, it's about giving back and helping somebody else to experience the same successes and the same opportunities that you had. I think that's what really a mentor is at the end of the day.
Exactly.
All right, Gary, man, I really want to thank you for this time. Really appreciate you coming and getting on with me. We got to do this again. Talk some sports and have some fun. Thanks again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. And as far as you personally, continue doing the things that you're doing. You're blessed with an inner strength that everyone can see. Can keep doing your thing. Keep that entrepreneurial spirit going. Keep God in your heart as you always have. And just continue to be great, Kenny. I'm real proud of you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Hopefully I see you in June at the anniversary party.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right.
That was Garry D. Howard. And the D stands for Don't Stop Talking. I'm just kidding. That's my guy, and it was great to have him on. Now it's time to get back to the music. This is Yeah Lord by Terrence Mackey and New Restoration.
Said it before, but this time I'm for sure. Yeah, Lord. Tired of running, I can't do it no more. Yeah, Lord. Because you never ever let me down. Everybody say, yeah, Lord. If you agree, I'll worship you, I'll praise you. No matter what comes, Lord, I will do the same. Because you never ever let me down. Everybody say, yeah, Lord. If you agree,
talk about it.
We talk about the day of your return. We live our lives contradicting the words for what?
But we know
all is in your hands. Why not serve you?
the question.
A question that is asked daily, but yet you still remain faithful. We know all is in your hands. Why not serve you? Said it before, but this time I'm for sure. Yeah, Lord. Tired of running, I can't do it no more. Yeah, Lord. Because you never ever let me down.
Everybody say,
yeah, Lord. If you agree, I'll worship you, I'll praise you. No matter what comes, Lord, I will do the same. Because you never ever let me down. Everybody say, yeah, Lord. If you agree, some wonder who you are. You're forever, Lord. My Savior, God, is forever.
we call you King
We call you King of Kings
and Lord of Lords.
and Lord of Lords. You're forever, God, forever.
Break it down.
Wonder who you are. Forever, Lord. My Savior, God, is forever.
You're the King of Kings
We call you King of Kings
and the Lord of Lords.
and Lord of Lords.
And for that we're grateful. Forever, God.
Forevermore. This time I'm for sure. Yeah, Lord. Tired of running, I can't do it no more. Yeah, Lord. Because you never ever let me down.
Everybody say,
Everybody say, yeah, Lord. If you agree, I'll worship you.
praise you.
I'll praise you. No matter what comes, Lord, I will do the same. Because you
right my wrongs. God in the middle of the song. Let me spread the love in the gospel and show them how to live on. Say you stretch your arms out wide. On that cross you went and died. You gave your love so I could live a whole nother life. So I just thank you for your love. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for your blessings, and ain't too much to say. Every day I wake up, get on my knees, put my hands together and I pray. Thank you, love, for your lovability, man, every day.
Said it before, but this time I'm for sure. Yeah, Lord. Tired of running, I can't do it no more. Yeah, Lord. Because you never ever let me down. Everybody say, yeah, Lord. If you agree, I'll worship you, I'll praise you. No matter what comes forward, I will do the same. Because you never ever let me down. Everybody say, yeah, Lord. If you agree, said it before, but this time I'm for sure. Yeah, Lord. Tired of running, I can't do it no more. Yeah, Lord. Because you never ever let me down. Everybody say, yeah, Lord. If you agree, I'll worship you, I'll praise you. No matter what comes forward, I will do the same. Because you never ever let me down. Everybody say, yeah, Lord, if you agree.
Sometimes I don't believe it. Sometimes I don't believe it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, started once again for a sinner like me. Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, I just can't believe it's love for me. Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, why do you do it? Yeah, oh yeah, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Go and talk to him. When I think of the goodness, I can't help myself. I lose all control and I gotta tell someone else. And I'll be here all day if I really got into it. Hey, so I'ma just tell you like this, yeah. He's mine. Woo. Right in the dark, right in the spot. He's mine. Yeah, a million feet tall. And look at God. He's mine. Don't get me wrong, I've been there. These problems get real. But every time it gets hard, I be like, oh my God. Yeah, started once again for a sinner like me. Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, I just can't believe it's love for me. Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, why do you do it? Yeah, oh yeah, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I know you love me.
Yes, you do.
I know you care for me.
Yes, you do.
Show me every day.
Yes, you do.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm so grateful. Gotta give you your credit. Ain't nobody else did it.
Nobody, yeah. Who never thought that I'd end up with a love like this?
Love like this.
Yeah. Who never thought that the Savior would be on me like this? So I stay close to that ghost. Once I get it, need some more. And ain't I in, I can feel it like, oh, look at this life like, oh my God, oh my God. Yeah, started once again for a sinner like me. Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, I just can't believe it's love for me. Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, why do you do it? Yeah, oh yeah, oh my God. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Go and talk to him.
I remember. Only time I prayed was, Lord, let me get away with it. Oh, I remember. How many times are you gonna have grace on this sinner? Yeah. Wait now. Can I tell y'all why I came now? Can I tell y'all how I'm changed now? Can I tell y'all I ain't the same now? I got homies on blocks with Dayola. I'm whipping that codeine with soda. It don't matter how far I'm going. Just know that I always pray for you. Cause somebody did that for me. Somebody did that for me. I'm not supposed to be here, but I am. Cause the Lord, He had mercy on me. You gotta believe it. That's why I live life to the fullest. So yes, I live life to the fullest. And I will never take credit for His blessing to a saint from a sinner. So it's oh my God.
Let me take you back to the beginning of it all. When He spoke, yeah, all it took was a word. And living back then into my name. Ask me how, can't explain. But if you knew what I knew, then you say,
oh my God. Yeah, started once again for a sinner like me. Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, I just can't believe it's love for me. Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, why do you do it? Yeah, oh yeah, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh
Trumpy Key, come on!
Let's do it! Yo, clap your hands!
I apologize to science. No disrespect to medicine.
Kirk Franklin, yo!
But I was created to worship.
Listen, new life!
I was made to
Worship!
worship you.
Come on!
Give you glory.
In the country, y'all!
Praise you too.
That sounds so
With
good.
my hands up, that's what I'll do. I was made to worship you.
Listen! God my Father, He who abides,
Yes, sir.
He who covers, He who resides.
Lord have mercy.
Let the favor release her fruit.
I hear you, John.
As we worship, that's what I do. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Worship you.
Come on, come on.
Give you glory and praise you too.
With my hands.
Hands up.
That's what I'll do.
This is what I do. Now listen to this right here.
In my pain,
Even in my trial, people, I'm no longer in denial. I confess.
better days, worship. Yes, God wants me. Worship you
I need to hear you.
and praise you too.
See these hands? They were created to be lifted. I was made to worship you.
Yo, Kirk, listen to this.
Come on.
God, my master, you came through.
I need to hear you.
Now I'm a worshiper.
That's what I do.
That's what I do.
I lost some
Now I
friends.
lost some friends.
More than two.
More than two.
I give you glory.
But I give you glory.
That's what I do.
That's what I do.
Bye-bye, friends. I'm no longer. See, I'm no longer in denial. I confess. Better days. Can't you see it?
Yes. Yes. Listen, I remember my struggle.
Come on.
Bills were due.
My bills were
I
due.
didn't stop my worship because that's what I do.
Cried many nights.
9 minutes nights,
John.
but my strength was renewed.
Yes, sir.
Sustain my worship. That's what I do. Kirk, help me.
Oxycontin.
Painkillers. Smoke weed too.
I hear you, John.
Worship delivered me. That's what I do. Listen, I was condemned. Drugs I abused.
Come on.
But I started to worship. Now that's what I do. In my pain.
In my pain and in my trials. See, I'm no longer in denial.
Thank you, Jesus.
Meditate. John, let me in. Hey, new life.
Let him know.
I'm a worshiper.
Yes.
I'm a worshiper.
Yes.
That's what I do. No denial. I'm a worshiper.
Yes.
It's in my DNA.
That's what I do.
That's what I do. Even in my trials, I was created to be. I'm predestined to be.
That's what I do.
That's what I do. Even in my pain,
Let him know.
it shows a purpose. It creates character in me.
I'm a worshiper.
That's why I do it.
That's what we do.
New life. I'm a worshiper. It just rises up in me.
That's what I do.
And I can't stop. Cause I won't stop. I can't deny it. I am a worshiper. I was created to do it. CJ, it's a problem now. Even in trial.
Don't deny it.
Hey, let 'em know. That's what I do. Hit me. Come on. CJ, on the one now. On the one now. Come on.
Come on, sing.
We stand.
Uncle John.
Miracles will lose.
Lord have mercy.
I gave you glory. That's what I do. Kurt, headaches gone. He healed every bruise.
That sounds so good.
I give you glory. That's what I do. Every challenge you have,
I hear you, John.
I will end you. Yes, I am a worshiper. That's what I do.
Now listen to this right here.
Grace and mercy brought me through. I'm a worshiper. That's what I do.
That's what I do. This is what I do.
We got a testimony today. God used everything we went through to make us who we are. And we're grateful. Come on, say it. God gave me a vision of where I would be. But it didn't show me what I'd go through. On the journey. But everything I faced prepared me for what God has for me to do. So now that I'm here, I'm gonna praise Him for all that I had to go through. Come on, say it. What the devil meant for evil, God used to get the glory. Cause it pushed me. Hey. It pushed me into my destiny. God used it. Hallelujah. Say all of the tests and trials.
All of the tests and trials.
They all made me stronger. And they taught me how to trust Him. That's why my praise is so crazy. Hallelujah. And it's often misunderstood. Cause what the devil thought would destroy me, God turned it around for my good. What the devil meant for evil, God used it. Cause it pushed me. Hey. It pushed me into my destiny. God used it to make me who? Come on, Sam.
All the trouble. Can we testify for a minute?
Yes, sir.
Hold me closer to Him. It was good. Cause it made me who I am. It pushed me
Into my destiny. To make me. Say thank you. I dare you to tell your trouble. Thank you for pushing me. Tell those trials. Thank you. I know it didn't feel good, but it worked out for my good. So now that I went through it, I can say thank you for. When I look back over my life and see what God has brought me from, and how He used every test to make me who I am, I gotta praise Him. I gotta give Him the glory.
That was It Push Me by J.J. Hairston and Youthful Praise. If you're considering being a mentor, I hope that song inspired you to push towards becoming one. Now it's time for the Any Key Music Moment. To be a mentor, you first must be a model of what behavior you want to see in those whom you mentor. As a coach and a mentor, my primary goal is to give the kids I coach the opportunity I had to play high school and college basketball. I always tell the kids I work with that I want to see you all be successful, not just in basketball, but in life. There are many kids that need positive role models in their lives, especially those in the African American community. If you haven't been a mentor, I challenge you, take the time to invest in someone. The rewards you get from being in a child's life can be felt for a lifetime. All right, that's it for this episode of the Any Key Radio Show. I want to thank again my guest, Garry D. for joining us. Remember to subscribe to the show on iTunes, the Any Key YouTube channel, which is spelled ANYKENY, Google Play, and Spotify. Leave me a review and let me know what you think of the show. If you have any questions, comments, if you want your music featured on the show, or if you'd like to be a guest on the show, send an email to kanmpub@gmail.com. Again, that's kanmpub@gmail.com. So until next time, remember, be positive on purpose.